This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right. Good afternoon, evening, wherever it is you're watching this from. It's your boy Jay McLovin with my boy Austin Faith here on the evening recap show on ESEN. Man, what a day, what a night, what an afternoon it's been already. Austin, how you been, brother? How's your day?
Doing good. Trying to stay cool, but that cold front definitely helped.
I'll tell you, hey, after all the heat, this summer in Houston has been brutal. I mean, it has absolutely been freaking brutal. And the fact of the matter that we actually got the kind of weather that we're getting now, which has been roughly around high or low 80s, 60s in the evening. I tell you, I can't agree with you more, man. I love this. I'm almost getting excited to light up my damn fire pit. That's how great it's been. It's
Damn, I'm
nice,
getting ready to build a pit.
I tell you, I love when God gives free water because God doesn't give it to me on my water bill. So anytime it rains, I used to hate it when it rains. I'm like, I just wash my car. And now that I have all this damn grass, I got to water all this damn grass. I'm like, I love it when it rains, when God sends rain. Because I tell my wife, I say, it's like another day we ain't got to pay on the water bill. So yeah, take that for all that it's worth. All right, let's jump into it, man. It's been a crazy weekend of sports. I just want to touch on a couple of football issues, and then we'll kind of dive more into baseball side of life. Russell Wilson, man, I'm really surprised that he's not been benched, to be honest with you. I really thought that this cat, I really thought that Jackson Dart at some point would have made his way into the lineup, especially going up against Dallas this week. I felt like Russell Wilson, this is not, if you watch that game that they played, what was it, Sunday, I believe it was against the, I forget who the Redskins, I want to say it was the Redskins, I believe they played. They only scored like 6 points, no touchdowns. There was very little. Malik Neighbors was angry, goes off on his coach because he felt like he's not getting the ball enough. I don't know did you catch the highlights of that game, or did you watch any of that game? Were you able to catch any of that game at all, Austin?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think I saw quite a bit of it. Yeah, he was not very sharp, not what you usually see.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, the guy went 17 of 37 for 168 yards, no touchdowns. He didn't throw any interceptions. So I guess if there's a silver lining to Russell Wilson, at least he didn't throw any interceptions. But I thought when they applied pressure to him, he did not handle the pressure at all well. And that was the first issue because everybody knows in New York, that offensive line is not the best. Yeah, and I felt like Danny Dimes really took a beating when his time was in New York. And I think he got a bad rep because of the fact he didn't really have he had Saquon Barkley. I'm not going to act like he didn't have a running back, but he had no wide receiver one. He really even didn't have a true wide receiver two. I think Shepard was his best one at that particular time before Neighbors got there. So it's not like he had the best of things to work with. And I felt like his reputation as that a lot of people were saying he was a bust, that he shouldn't have been drafted, this, that, and the other. I felt like a lot of it was unwarranted. I mean, the guy he actually did throw for a good amount of passing yards given the situation that he was in. And I think when we saw him go to Indianapolis and then he got the win in Indy, even though it was over a lackluster Miami offense, I should say, or even really for that matter, defense from Miami, he still played well. Tyler Warren, the tight end that they drafted there in Indy, just, lights out. I mean, the guy was all over the place. I think he had like 60 or 70 yards. I think he caught like 6 or 7 passes. The guy did really, really well. I think even at one point, he even ran the ball, Tyler Warren did. So it was a good pickup for Indy. But back to Russell Wilson, he went for, I think, 2 for 12 for 26 yards. I don't know, man. It's just, he had 2 sacks. He had a couple of scrambles that he got forced into. The total offense stalled twice in the red zone. twice in the red zone. They could not score. And that just to me sounds like, why would you not at that point, even given that you want to stay with Russell Wilson to finish out the game, that's fine. But why would you tell me that then you're going to roll with you're going to roll with Russell Wilson going against Dallas Cowboys? I don't get that, especially with the way Dart was playing in preseason. I get it as preseason, Austin, but this cat was lights out. I mean, he was playing great ball. Do you think it was wrong for him to not want to go with Russell Wilson, for him not to want to go with Jackson Dart against Dallas, or is he okay or right in sticking with the veteran?
I think you got to give it to the veteran. First few games of the season. Yeah, I mean that's your best bet. I mean that's who they invested all the money towards. So I mean, what's bad is this first week a lot of rookies popped off, like receivers, quarterbacks, all around. Rookies were on fire, which is kind of showing that young talent peeking through. But then you had Aaron Rodgers doing his thing at almost 50. It seems like. I mean, you just don't know. But first game jitters, first week jitters, no telling. It could be a completely different player by the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. You got to think that Dable is on the hot seat here. This guy has been in New York now for roughly 3 years, I believe it is. And he has not really progressed the team all that much from where they were when he got there. I mean, they have brought in Malik Neighbors, which is good. Trace is not a bad running back, but they really have not done enough on that offensive line to really, in my opinion, solidify New York as being good. So I'm wondering how much longer he's going to be given any kind of slack or leash before his time in New York is over. And you got to imagine this is, he drafted Jackson Dart. Let me ask you this, Austin. How long, if you were Dable and you knew that you're on the hot seat, everybody's looking at you to right this ship, how much leeway do you give Russell Wilson before you go to your rookie Jackson Dart?
I mean, it won't be long, especially if is in the hot seat. Like from a manager standpoint, usually when they know their job's in jeopardy, that panic button seems pretty sweet. And that's probably the biggest thing to not do, is to not hit the panic button. I say trust your guys, trust the people that you drafted, and see where it puts you. Because everything that I've seen in the past, panic button, making exchanges, putting new guys out there, just trying to buy a win, basically, is what it looks like. And usually it doesn't work out. Very, very rarely does it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I got to be honest with you. If I knew my job was on the hot seat, I'm probably going to give Russell Wilson maybe 2 more tries to get this right. I'm going to give him 2 more tries. I think he has Dallas. I forget who he has after Dallas. But I'm going to give him 2 more shots. We're going to work. You make your adjustments in your practice time, preparation time. You get him adjusted, things like that. But if he can't start converting in those red zone opportunities, I'm going to start looking at my rookie and say, hey, look, it's time. It's this now or never, because I may not get another shot at this if I don't right this ship. So I got to imagine that Jets ownership is probably looking at him tightly. Everybody's looking at him tightly. He's going to have to make some serious decisions. And if I'm Jackson Dart, I'm telling coach, I'm ready, man. Let's go. Put me in. It's my time. And I think Russell Wilson, he had a good career. I think he got a lot of early success with Seattle and Pete Carroll when he got the Super Bowl win over there. But he obviously had a lot of weapons. He had that was a Legion of Doom defense. That was number 12. The audience was number 12, or the crowd was like the 12th man on the field, right? That's why they call him 12 man. And I think he benefited a lot from Pete Carroll and the staff that they had there at the time when he won that Super Bowl. And I think if you look at his career after he left Seattle, when he went to Denver, had his time there in Denver, now his time in New York, he has not had anywhere near the success that he had, even an ounce of the success that he had in Seattle. So I got to tell you, I think Russell's career is slowly dwindling down. I just don't think he has enough left in the tank. But that's needed for me to decide. That's a Brad Dable decision. But I do look forward to seeing where we go from there. Anything else in the NFL before I get into college that you want to talk about, Logan? Or I'm calling you Logan. I'm so used to podcasting with my boy Logan. Austin, is there anything that you want to talk about before we get out of the NFL side of life?
No, I think you touched up. I mean, rookies, that's the biggest thing that I noticed from watching. I don't watch a lot of football, but rookies were on one this week. They really want to show they're worth their while.
That's the thing, right? I mean, when you look at this first week, and this is just week one, and one of the things about preseason that we were talking about on earlier show was the fact that it seems like week one is like your preseason game one, because none of your starters really played during preseason. This is kind of their first action outside of training camp. So if you look across the league, no running back, with the exception of Travis Henry for the Ravens, really no running back had more than 60 or 70 yards rushing. Now, they got some receiving and rushing that could add close to 100 yards from the line of scrimmage. But from the rushing perspective, if you look across the league in week one, they're lucky if they're averaging 4 to 4.2 yards as a collective rushing unit. When you start breaking it down into individual running backs, you're looking at 3.1, 2.9, 4.0 on a few scampers by the quarterbacks that got them to that level. So it really was a very down week for veteran running backs trying to get started, trying to get amped up. When you look at Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, two of the premier wide receivers in the league, neither one of them eclipsed over 50. I think Jamar Chase had 20. I think he had 2 catches, and I think Justin Jefferson had around 40 on 3 or 4 catches. I mean, neither one of them just really did much, truly, of anything. So this is just something to keep an eye on. Justin Jefferson is coming back off of injury, so I don't know how close to 100% he is. I got to imagine he's close to 100%, although I don't think they put him on the field. Then you got a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, which this really is his true first year in the league. And, he's not Brad Darnold. He doesn't have the arm like Brad Darnold. He has a shorter arm, or a shorter passing rate, right? He doesn't throw the deep balls. He's more 10 to 15, maybe maximum. He might go more than 15 every now and then. But then when you look on the flip side, you got Joe Flacco over there with Cleveland and Jamar Chase. This is a 41-year-old guy, and Joe Flacco is not a going deep kind of guy. He's more of a game manager. I got to ask you, Austin, if you were a premier wide receiver in the league, and a lot of people judge you on your stats, right? Now, yes, you will be given leeway. I don't want to go too far off the deep roads. You will be given leeway to the quarterbacks that's throwing you the rock, right? Because everybody's going to understand that Darnold's not there. And I forget who even was for Cleveland, because Cleveland's had a rotation of quarterbacks that have kind of gone through there. But if you're a premier wideout, and we do a lot on stats, how much are you trying to either get away from that situation and try to find a different location with a better quarterback, or what is going through your mind if your quarterback isn't exactly the type that the one to air it out, and that is kind of your specialty?
I mean, you just gotta find a way to win. I feel like. I mean, you gotta adapt. Not everybody's the same. You got your veteran guys that the way, like what you were saying earlier with the rookies being, and then the vet receivers not being so hot this week. I mean, there's 2 ways you can look at it. Those guys have been there before. They know how long the season is, and there ain't no point in gassing it out this early in the season. When you have rookie guys, they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're coming out hot. And then, adapting to your quarterback, I mean, that's got to be number one. I mean, you can't be getting mad at Aaron Rodgers because he can't throw 70 yards downfield. I mean, he knows how to win. That's just how it is. He's commanding. You're just following.
Yeah, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, it was interesting to see him, play the Jets and get the win against his former team, a team that by all means ownership really kind of looked at him when he was there getting ready to I guess he thought he was getting I think Aaron Rodgers thought he would get an extension with the Jets or play longer with the Jets, and ownership kind of gave him that's not going to happen. We're going to go in a different direction kind of thing. And so I kind of imagine it's a good feel, right?
He played like 1 week with the Jets, then was hurt, right? Something like that.
Well, that was he's had 2 years there. During the first season with the Jets, he tore his ACL game 1. I think it was 4 snaps in, tore the ACL, done for the season, comes back at a record time. Believe it or not, he tears the Achilles in week 1, and then comes back and plays again next season, week 1, ready to go for the for the Jets. And then after that, when that season came to an end, well, so did his tenure in New York, and that's when they basically said, "Hey, you're basically not going to be retained." And that's when he actually eventually lynched on with the Steelers. A lot of people thought he was going to go to Minnesota, but he wound up lynching on with the Steelers, and actually had a good, successful week 1. I got to tell you though, I don't know how many people out there. I was super impressed with the New York Jets, because old Jets would have been blown out the door, probably not even put up much of a fight. This Jets team actually got within 2 points of a win. I mean, it was 34-32 as your final score. So Pittsburgh did eke that out. But I think from a moral standpoint, you got to, I think if I'm a Jets player, or if I'm Jets management, or even Jets ownership, the product they put on the field, and Justin Jefferson, the way he played, Justin Fields, and the way he played at quarterback for the Jets, phenomenal. So that's a lot to be admired. If I was a fan of the Jets, I'm happy right now. I'm not ecstatic because we didn't get the win, but I'm happy because they actually put a competitive product for once on the field. They haven't seen competitive product since Mark Sanchez played there, and I believe it was who was the head coach at the time? I think Bill Parcells or somebody was the coach at that time. So it's been, or not Bill Parcells, excuse me, Rex. Rex Ryan was the coach there. So it's been a hot minute. Real quick, we'll shift over to college football. I want to talk to you real quick about the transfer portal. So what has come down now, it used to be there are 2 times you can go in the transfer portal. You can go there in December, and then I think you can go there again at some point. And I want to say it's like late spring. I think is another transfer portal opening. And now legislation has come out and said there's no more 2 windows to go into the portal. Now it's just 1 window, and it's not going to be in December. No. You know what day they chose? They chose January the 11th as the cutoff date for the transfer portal. I believe it opens up January 2nd, and it closes January the 11th. And that's the only time a player and football, NCAA football, I don't know how it works for baseball or basketball, but I know on football side of life, you basically got that short time period to do it. Now, here's the interesting part about it. The reason why a lot of people don't like it more outspokenly was Ryan Day, the head coach of Ohio State, came out and said he hates it. He thinks it's a bad idea. It doesn't make sense because you're putting the transfer. Basically, here's what happens. So you got the quarterfinals ends, and then the transfer portal opens. And then right in between the semifinal games, which would be the Peach Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. The Peach Bowl is on January 8th. The Peach Bowl is on January 9th. And then on January 11th, the portal closes. Now, Austin, this is the part I don't understand this. I don't know why in the world you put a transfer portal opening and closing date right smack dab in the middle of college playoffs. It makes no sense. Like, what coach has the time? If you're in the playoff level, what coach has the time to go and visit with recruits while at the same time still trying to compete for a national championship? I don't get that.
That's what happens when they put more money involved with these college guys. These NIL deals, it's going to complicate a lot of things. I feel like I'm surprised they're doing that long of a transfer portal. Honestly, I mean, the fact that they had 2 was normal, made sense before NIL, but now dudes are making millions. So, like, there's money being spent other places. So if you're having new guys come on, you need to know who needs to leave, who needs to, like, all that stuff. So it's in like a lot of these big, like, Big 12 schools and top schools. They have probably a huge max of what they can spend per semester on these NIL deals. Like, some of these guys, I think the minimum for, like, someone riding the bench is like $175 a semester. And I mean, I think that's gonna throw a wrench in a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and that's I just feel like it's a disservice to these college programs, if you're not in the playoffs, then I guess it's not as bad, right? Because you have all the time in the world to go visit. But if you're in the so if you're Ohio or Texas or Oregon or whoever the case may be that's in the playoffs, and you're trying to gear your team up and then try to go at the same time visit with all these guys in the portal, or even keeping your own guys from going into the portal. I mean, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It's the timing of it. I don't care if you're going to do one. I like the fact that you're only doing one window, because I think it forces athletes to stay at the school they're in, and it does reduce the amount of turnover that these schools are going to go through. So I do like the fact that there's one transfer portal window. I just don't like the timing of it. I felt it would be better to have kept that in December or even after the playoffs are concluded and then start the transfer portal window. But I don't know how the logistics of all that works out. It's been over 30 years since I remember what college was, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, like what you just said. I mean, it's definitely the money that's getting involved. They don't want guys leaving. That they're making promises that they don't want them taken. I mean, if you're a Johnny Manziel and you got every team in the country wanting you, and you just signed a deal for a couple million, who's to say you can't go get more? So, but the timing's messed up.
Let me ask you this. So since we're on that transfer portal subject and the NIL subject and things of that nature, what do you think about NIL? Now it's making its way into the high school ranks, and these schools are giving NIL money to these high school kids for their commitment to their program.
Oh yeah, it's like another draft. I mean, it's going to make the talent way better, way, way better. That's why I tell the guys that I give lessons to. Like, when I was coming up, it was hard to get into college. It was even harder to get drafted. Now it's becoming the hardest and almost impossible. So because they're able to pull, like when I was in college, we had multiple guys that were throwing like low to mid 80s pitchers. You had your football teams that were just like meh. Now you're not going to see any of that. It's all going to be the top of the top, because that's what they can pick from, because money's involved. So yeah, I mean, it's like a signing bonus. Throwing a signing bonus to an 18-year-old kid, I mean, it's gonna hurt the draft for sure for professional sports, but in the end, I think it's gonna help the games way more, because you're not gonna have so much young talent just get burned, like go to waste, because they're not gonna sign 18-year-olds anymore out of high school, because the 18-year-olds, they're gonna go to college, make some more money, get some experience, and then move on from there. So I think it's a good idea. There needs to be a cap for sure, because giving 18-year-olds a buttload of money is not a great financial move, in my opinion, because most of them do stupid stuff with it. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, you can look up countless stories of guys blowing their signing bonuses and then never making up to be anything.
It almost seems in a way, and I guess I can see the ingeniousness of it, that, one way to avoid athletes jumping into the transfer portal, right? Because maybe they're not getting the playing time or whatever their reasoning is. I guess one way to keep them from jumping into the portal is to give them this money, because once they get that money, if they do want to go to the portal and they do want to leave the program, they have to give that money back to the school.
Like, I get it being yeah, for sure. That's something that, but I get it if you're like a second string quarterback at a major university and the first string, he's obviously never going to bench. That should definitely be an option for him, because if he's a good second string quarterback and he just needs those eyes or an opportunity to open up for another big school, then he can give back that minimum salary that he's making at that school and then get the starting role at another school. So I can see it being beneficial for those kind of guys that do have the potential to be first stringers, and they're just being overlooked or whatever the case is, because that happens all the time in sports. I was a big part of that. Like I didn't have the grades in high school, and through college, so I just got overlooked constantly. But I think that could be it's the timing of it being in January. That's where that's like a big middle finger to college football.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a huge middle finger to college football. Now, again, this is going to be voted on October 1st, I believe, by the Athletic Commission or NCAA Athletic Commission, somebody like that. Some committee is going to vote on this on October 1st to see if this gets implemented, or I guess maybe they try to fight legislation and not do it. I don't know. And so I don't think this is 100% resolved yet, but I guess it's going to depend on this vote October 1st, and then I guess the next steps will be taken after that. So I guess more to follow as this develops. But you know what? One thing you mentioned, and I agree with you, when you give a boatload of money to a young kid, if he has parents that are good guidances of managing his money, he'll probably be okay. But if it goes to somebody, let's say a single parent or a lower income family that doesn't know how to deal with big time money or anything of that nature, where maybe he doesn't have the guidance to deal with this money, like responsibly, like you said, though, you get a big chunk of money, you're going to go out and spend it. And if these young kids take this money, go to these schools, and maybe they don't get the playing time they're looking for, they want to hit that transfer portal. If they've blown that money, then it kind of loses their chance. But I guess the caveat to that is, if a school's going to give you that much money, there's got to be some playing time along the way for them. I can't imagine them giving chunks of money like that and then not playing them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how that works. How much is guaranteed, and how much they get up front. I mean, they'd have to give, let's say you got $100,000 for a semester, just transferred to your account, and you already have the plan to go into the transfer portal. I mean, the smartest thing to do to spend that 100 grand, right? I mean, how would you pay it back if it was given to you? That's also their risk. That's part of it. That's part of them bringing this NIL stuff to light. You're going to have guys that know how to trick the system, play the cards right to where it works out the best for them. But yeah, I mean, and a lot of guys that get the money that are young, like what you're saying, it's not necessarily that it's probably like 50-50 on the ones that do smart things with it versus the ones that blow it all. And that 50% that blow it all, it's not all just low income. It's really just the parents think that their sons are so good that money's never going to stop coming in. They're always going to be. So they don't put a stipulation on it. They let them free will. And I've seen that happen so many times with so many guys that come from well-knowledge parents, well put together families, but they still get a signing bonus because they thought that those checks were always going to come, that money was never going to stop coming. And then they realize how hard the game is and how long it is and how much time you got to put into it and the level of competition that's involved, and that's getting better and better and better every year. So that's where I see it the most.
Yeah, and then I'm also wondering, too, if you do go to the transfer portal and let's say you don't have the money to give back, I wonder if the receiving school that's getting you on the other end of the portal would then pay the other school, hey, we'll just pay whatever his NIL was to get this kid over here. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine
it's probably a contract. You probably got to buy them out from their contracts. I know it's like that for baseball. Like if you want a guy, you have to buy out his contract, plus give him whatever you're planning on playing for. Yeah. So that's why indie ball guys are becoming more wanting teams want the indie ball guys more now because the contract to be bought out is super cheap. I mean, I think it's like $1,000 to like $5,000 to buy out an indie ball guy,
which is nothing for anybody. That's just
that's basically your signing bonus. They don't have to give them a signing bonus to put them in the minor leagues. But once you get to like guys that are playing in Mexico trying to get signed by an affiliate team, those contracts can run up. I mean, you're talking about like $100,000 to buy them out from their contract. And those Mexican teams, they don't want to give them up. So they're going to make sure you pay out plus a little bit more sometimes in some cases.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this whole transfer portal thing works itself out. I got to imagine, I don't think Ryan Day is by any means the only coach out there that's upset with the timing of the transfer portal. I think they're probably okay with it being one window, but that timing, you got to imagine that's just really irritating. Go over to baseball real quick. I want to kind of talk to you about a couple of no-nos that almost happened and didn't happen. And it's interesting. Like I was telling you earlier in the pre-show, and for those of you that don't know, right now there has not been a no-hit game or perfect game at all this season. And the last time we went a whole season without a no-hitter was back, I believe, in 2005. So it's been about 20 years since we've had a season that did not have a no-hitter in it. And we almost had two yesterday. The Dodgers, Glasnow and Blake Treinen, they went 8 no-hit innings, and then Tanner Scott gave up the no-no in the 9th. And, of course, the Dodgers did hold on to win 3-1. But, again, Tanner Scott, man, you couldn't get 3 more outs to get the no-no. But with that said, the second one was the Guardians, and Slade Caccione, he almost had a no-hitter as well. It was given up in the 8th to Kansas City's Michael Massey, who gave him a leadoff single. And that obviously destroyed the no-no in the 9th. And the last time there was a no-no in Cleveland was probably about 40-plus years ago. So it's been over 4 decades since that team has even had a no-hitter. And he almost had it, but just couldn't secure it. Real quick, what I want to talk, the reason I brought this up, I know me and you had a little bit of a discussion on this, and I think it's very interesting. Like you said, the way the game is being played, the fact that major league pitchers or starting pitchers don't go the distance like they did back, early on. Now it's basically a committee approach, right? You probably get your starter to go 5 or 6 innings, and then in comes your relief, and then, you play it out that direction. Are you surprised that we haven't had a no-hitter? And if so, do you think if we do get no-hitters going forward, it's going to be more by a committee approach, or do you think there will be another starter that actually goes to 4-9 and gets the no-hitter?
I think it'll happen before the season ends, for sure. I don't know if it'll be one starter. I think those days are getting less and less. It's just, a no-hitter, all the stars got to line up just as it is. But now with the way the hitting approach is, it's getting harder and harder every year, for sure. The way the strike zone is being so enforced now, that's why you don't see them very much, because these hitters are disciplined. They know what pitch they want. They know how to look for pitches, and they're hitting off the best guys every single day. They're seeing constant pitches. So I think the likelihood of that happening is very slim. And then on top of that, the complete game no-hitter with under 100 pitches, I think it's pretty much slim to zero.
Yeah. And again, you're more optimistic than I am about it. I think between now and the end of this month, that's 20. What is today? Today's the 9th. So you got 19 days, I guess. I think the season ends on the 28th. So we're looking at about 19 days before the end of the season and we go into the playoffs. I'll tell you what, man, you have to be Nostradamus to get that one. But I'm going to ride it, Austin. I'm going to ride you on that one. Let's see what happens, man.
I'd be willing to bet that it won't happen in regular season, but I bet you anything that it'll happen in postseason. Somebody's going to throw a combined no-hitter, or somebody's just going to have one of those days. Like that pitcher for Arkansas, he threw the no-hitter in the World Series with 19 strikeouts. It's insane. Right. And that's still like he couldn't tell you what he was doing right. Like when those days happen, and I've had some days like that where you just have full confidence that no matter what you throw up there, nobody's gonna hit it. It's the weirdest thing. Like you don't have to put effort into it. The ball goes exactly where you want it to go. Sometimes it just the stars line up, and that's the easy days. Most of the days are work days.
Yeah, ask Lance McCullers about that one. Since he's been back with the Astros, he has struggled so hard with trying to find location. Like he just has a horrible time with location with his balls.
Man, he shouldn't even be there, in my opinion. There's better. They just have too much money invested into them, and they're trying to get it out. I think if you took any rookie that pitched like him, they'd be sent down immediately almost, or DFA'd or something. So that's what I get annoyed with, the guys that that just hang around. I mean, it's the right move. Like if you're smart and you know how. That's the thing with the bigs. Once you have one good year, that gets you 3. You have 3 good years, that gets you 5 guaranteed. And then 5 gets you 10. So he's kind of one of those guys that just got those good couple years, and now he's solidified for a while. He'd have to really mess up. It's like Syndergaard. Syndergaard went from throwing 100, 101, then he dropped down to like 90, sitting like 92. Anybody else that played at that level, if you're a rookie, you're done. You get sent down, and then if you don't bring your velo back up, they release you. That's it. But since Syndergaard built up freaking 8-year career before that happened, I mean, they have to give it to him. And that's just from injury, not recovering from injury, which is something that that should have been an automatic DFA. Like if you're not recovering from the injury that you had, it's different for guys that are just getting older, like Greinke. Greinke he used to pump it up back in the day, but he just gradually got older, and I mean, he just doesn't throw as hard. He can't because he'd blow out for sure. He pitches with he's playing chess up there while all these other guys are playing checkers.
Man, I hadn't heard about Greinke in a while. Is Greinke even still in the league?
No, I don't think so. I just like to use him as an example.
I think the last. Well, no, I mean, he I don't think he's been out that long though. The last time when he left the Astros, I know I saw him with Kansas City, and I don't know if he fizzled out after he went to Kansas City or not. But yeah, what's up, Rolly Quat? Good to see you, my brother. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. Next up, I want to talk about is Luis Garcia with the Astros. As you know, he had Tommy John back in 23. We figured it out. And then today he goes 1.2 innings and then exits the game in the second with right elbow discomfort. Anytime you hear the word discomfort, that just tells me, oh, man, we lost it for the season again. That just seems to be the luck of the draw this year with the Astros. When we hear the word discomfort, that just seems like it's an ender. Me personally, if he is having elbow discomfort, I say shut him down and figure it out, because the last thing we need to do is ruin him even worse than what he already is. But do you think this is nearing the end for Luis? Or do you think this is just a minor thing?
Could be. Usually, I mean, well, I say that because, I mean, you'll feel it snap, you'll feel it pop. I tore mine. I knew what happened when it happened, but I've also played with guys that swore their elbow snapped. They were convinced. They announced their retirement the day before their last start, and then they go out and throw 130 pitches and sit like 92, 95. They're fine. They felt something that was wrong. And it turned out, I mean, there's just a lot of nerves, a lot of crap in there that can really not feel good. And when you're torquing your arm that much and that fast, I mean, I'm sure a lot of guys, more than what you'd hear about, because a lot of guys are afraid to go to the training room because you get benched and you could lose your job. And they take it super, super seriously. So a lot of guys ignore it until it goes completely south. So whether or not he was doing that, and then it finally popped. But I looked it up, and he had just the basic Tommy John full reconstruction of the UCL ligament, that first surgery. I think that surgery is becoming a little outdated because, like what we talked about in the last show, was the success rate that guys are having between this internal brace, which is the surgery that I got, which is also the same surgery that Shohei Ohtani got. It's the internal brace that they put over the UCL ligament that gives it a little bit more withstand against force. The original UCL surgery, Tommy John, it's just the full reconstruction of the UCL. It takes longer. There's no artificial anything inside the elbow that's protecting it. It's just your elbow. And
right.
The chances of you continuing to play at that level with having 2 of those surgeries is like less than 2%. So, I mean, Luis Garcia was already going into that with like a 15% success rate of him continuing to play with that surgery. The new surgery with the brace, it gives you, if you had 2 previous surgeries and the second one was the one with the brace, gives you up to a 72% chance of continuing to play. So it's changing the game. And like we talked about Ohtani last time, I think because of that surgery alone, he's going to come back and kind of put an end to the hoax of Tommy John guys can't come back stronger, and they can't because I came back stronger than ever, no pain, like best my arm has ever felt, most trust that I've ever had in it, and like it was a game changer, man. I didn't change much about the way I was throwing, but I think, I mean, hopefully not. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever when a guy blows out his arm because it's like 50-50 chance on whether they're going to play again. And then it's like way less of a chance that they're going to play in a big league game again. So the fact that he did come back, I mean, that's going to show a lot for the Astros, I think. The fact that he did come back, he was able to pitch again at that level and with that level of intensity. So maybe they give him a chance, and maybe he gets this brace surgery, and it gives him even more of an advantage.
It's interesting because, you know, if I was Luis Garcia and you tell me that, and you know, you got to imagine if you know it's outdated at your level because you know the difference between the brace and not having the brace. If I'm Luis Garcia, I'd be like, no, if I'm going to have Tommy John, I'm going to get the brace. I want something in there to give it a little bit more oomph, you know, so I don't have to go through this again, right? And then get the brace. I don't know. Do you think this is a mistake on Luis's part not to go ahead and have that brace put in? Because it just seems like it is.
So I think it depends on how the tear happens. If it's a clean, just like snap off of the bone for the ligament, they just reattach it and then they put the brace over it. But usually the guys that have to get the full reconstruction, there's multiple tears in it. And it's like kind of frailed. It kind of looks like a string that's pulled apart that's dry rotted. So that's the one that so you can't really do the brace for that one just because the reconstruction of that ligament is so intense and takes so long. Like, I mean, it just wouldn't be the point. I feel like they probably can get to the point to where they can kind of force it to where that they can do the brace. I'm not a doctor, but this is just how I got explained it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know because I know that brace surgery is fairly new. I played with a guy in 2020 that was like one of the first guys to ever get it. And it's basically a paracord that they put over your ligament. And his was very experimental at the time. Now it's a pretty standard thing. The guy that specializes it or that created the surgery is Dr. Meister, who actually works out in Arlington. He does pretty much everybody's elbow. So I think as long as Luis Garcia has the right team with him and right knowledge, I mean, they should be able to figure out. I mean, that information is being blown up every day. That surgery is the way to go. So hopefully they give him a chance. And it's only a 7-month full recovery, like from surgery to pitching in game, 7 months, which compared to the regular surgery, it's 9 to 12 months.
Jeez. So, okay. So since Luis Garcia has been out for 2 years, almost, right at 2 years, he must have, you're right. He must not have got, like you said, he had the regular, just the normal surgery. I don't know. I feel like that was in my opinion, I mean, I get it. I mean, you're right. I mean, your body, I guess, like from what I understand from what you were saying, I guess the way the doctor was, it seems like your body and the way it tears will dictate, I guess, probably which way they wind up going. I hope Luis gets back soon. I'd hate to see him not be able to compete in the playoffs because, quite honestly, given our rotation right now, we really could use him because I don't know what kind of state Framber Valdez is in. Right now, that dude just looks all over the place. And Hunter Brown is our true number one ace. Now, we do get JP France back. I want to say within 1 to 2 days. He's in Toronto right now. I know that. So it should be at some point, maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Maybe we'll see him get a start, or maybe we go into the bullpen. I don't know how they're going to use him, but because right now we got, if Luis stays healthy, we have 5 starters, right? And then Lance McCullers got relegated down to the bullpen. At least on the depth chart I saw, he's on the bullpen. So I got it. I guess I'd imagine that JP France would also probably be one of the bullpen, especially since Ort and Sousa are the 2 relievers. Dana Brown came out and I guess they're saying that most likely they won't make it back for the postseason. So JP France certainly could be a good addition to that. And I hope Hader gets back before we hit the All-Star break, because I don't think, and I'm curious what you think about Abreu being our closer going into the playoffs.
No, I like it. I think you got to pull every card that you have. That's like LSU a few years ago. They're warming up Paul Skeens in the last game of the College World Series. I think when it comes down to it, you just need to put your guys in there that you trust. I mean, I'd really like it that if Garcia can't make it to the postseason, since they do have a really good chance of winning the whole thing and having a good postseason, they're going to take it very, very slow and be very, very cautious with that. And I would love to see them bring up a guy from AAA and give him a shot, throw him into the fire, and see how he performs. Because I mean, some of the best players ever. That's how they got noticed. That they got their shot and they blew up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we'll go through I'm gonna give you the scores real quick, and then we're gonna talk about a couple of teams vying for this wild card, and then we'll probably get out of here tonight. So right now, currently, Brewers and Rangers are going at it. It is top of the ninth, 2 outs, and the Brewers are losing to the Rangers 5-4. And looks like they are 1 out away. The Rangers are 1 out away from getting the win over the Brewers. Angels and Twins. Angels up 3-0. Bottom of the 5th. Padres are down to the Reds 2-1. Bottom of the 5th. Cardinals, Mariners are tied at the bottom of the 4th at 3. Diamondbacks are losing to the Giants 3-0. Bottom of the 4th. And unfortunately, the Astros lost 4-3 in the 10th inning. Oh, God, it's so depressing. Austin is so depressing, man.
They're only 2 ahead, too. 2 ahead from the Mariners right now. I mean, I'd love to see the Tigers and the Brewers go at it. Because, I mean, Brewers are freaking hot. They're hot.
Yeah, I mean,
and that young talent, they're setting the tone, setting the expectation high.
If the Astros couldn't be in the World Series, then I would absolutely want Detroit to be there, only because of our ties to AJ Hinch. And I wouldn't mind seeing AJ get another crack at the World Series if it comes down to that, and hopefully he'll win it and then put 2017 in his rearview mirror. I have told everybody, and I want to kind of get your opinion on this, Austin. I have told everybody that AJ Hinch, in my opinion, is the best manager in the league right now. Just what he was able to do with the Astros and the rebuild of that organization. Then he goes to Detroit, takes them and rebuilds them and puts them in the position in which they're in now. What is your opinion of AJ Hinch in terms of where he fits in all the active duty managers?
Oh, he's elite. I don't know what he's doing to these teams to fight the adversity that he had to go through with the Astros, being with the Astros. I mean, Astros proved everybody wrong over and over. Unfortunately, what they did in 2017 will never go away. They will always be booed, and certain players will never get the respect that they deserve just because of that, and it kind of blacklisted them. But, I mean, for him as a manager to take a very disliked team and continue to win with them no matter what, and then take a underdog team and just absolutely dominate this season. I mean, that speaks a lot for a manager. Whatever he's doing, whatever his speeches are, I wish they were recorded.
I'm telling you, because it just seems like he knows how to get the most out of those players. And I don't know if it's just him as a developer of talent, and putting guys in the right decision. Or when I say development, is if he's putting the right people in that organization under his lineage of coaches or whatnot underneath him. But he's doing, like you said, he's doing something right, because both of these franchises, I mean, he turned Detroit around, 2-3 years? Somewhere around there, I think it was.
Yeah, that's insane. That's unheard of almost.
I mean, to take them from nothing to, second best team right now record-wise. No, actually, they're the number 1 team, I believe. I think they overtook Toronto, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken, I believe Detroit is the number 1 team in the AL.
Yeah, number 1 in the AL.
Yeah, because I know them and Toronto have been switching forth that spot, but it looks like Detroit has it under lock right now. So, yeah, kudos to AJ Hinch, man. Looking at it right now, I'll pull up the standings real quick, and I'll give you a breakdown super quick on just the wild card side of it. And right now on the American League side, you have New York and Boston firmly cemented. I don't see them going anywhere right now. New York is +4 and Boston is +3.5, and both of them are playing good ball right now. So I don't see them relinquishing those two spots anytime soon. Seattle is where it gets to be interesting. Seattle, Texas, Cleveland, KC, Tampa Bay, all within reach, right? Tampa Bay is probably the furthest out at 4 games out, and then you have KC at 3.5, Cleveland at 2, and Texas now at 1. And then you break down the AL West, and if Houston doesn't get their act together and get their act together quick, it can be very easily that Houston finds themselves in the wild card, and either Texas or Seattle winds up with that top spot. So, real quick, I'm gonna give you, I guess, the schedule, and then we could talk about the AL side. Then we'll do the same thing for the NL side. So right now, Houston has Toronto, Atlanta, Texas, Seattle, the A's, and the Angels. That's their lineup.
Yeah, I got it brought up right here.
Yeah. So then Seattle's got St. Louis, Angels, KC, Houston, Rockies, and then I forgot who I put after that. I can't read it. Maybe you can read that. My handwriting. Oh, LA. They got the Dodgers. I apologize. And then Texas has Milwaukee, Mets, Astros, Miami, Twins, Cleveland. Cleveland has KC, White Sox, Detroit, Twins, Detroit, Texas. And then KC has Cleveland, Philly, Seattle, Toronto, Angels, and A's. So those are the schedules right now. I got to tell you, man, I would not be surprised if I don't think that Cleveland and KC can make up that difference given the schedules that they have. But that Texas, I could see them sliding up and probably taking that third wild card spot. Who do you think gets the third wild card spot? That's really what we're talking about between all 4 of these teams.
I mean, of course, I'm going to be biased and pick Texas. Just because I'd like to see the Astros and Texas go at it again for that final piece. But I mean, Mariners, they've always had a good team, always had solid players. They just couldn't figure out how to put it all together, and that's what we're seeing this year is them finally starting to find that chemistry, I think. But I mean, I don't know. I got to go with Texas. I think they have a little bit more depth.
Yeah, I just think the deficit that KC and Cleveland have to overcome is just going to be too much. I mean, Cleveland would probably be the closest, but when you look at Detroit twice on their schedule plus Texas, I just think that's going to be too much for KC.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening for them. I mean, it's baseball. Anything can happen. These guys get comfortable, especially once they sit in that first place spot for too long. It's like playing poker. Early chip leader usually never wins the game. So
yeah,
you don't want to get too comfortable. That's the big thing. But I think with the Tigers being there, they've never been there, so they don't know what comfort is. It's different when the Yankees and Dodgers are sitting in that first spot. They can kind of kick on cruise control and ride it out. But I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting the next couple of weeks.
Oh, it's definitely going to be an interesting couple of weeks. I'll probably have a couple heart attacks. But and then you go and you look at the National League side. The Cubs at +6, they're locked in. San Diego, they're locked in at +3.5, but they could surpass LA. LA, I think, is up by 1 game on them. So, even if you put LA in that realm, I mean, I think those two are locked up. I think really the only spot that's going to be up for grabs is that third one that the Mets hold. And right now, the Mets were on a 3-game losing streak. I forgot if I said they won or not, but they were on a 3-game. What does it say? Let me update real quick. Let me go back to scores real quick. Yeah, so the Mets did lose today to Philly, so that does knock them. That knocks them 1 more game back.
I mean, they're right now, so I mean, I don't think they got much to worry about. But they're definitely a team that's known to choke.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're only, if I refresh, I don't know if it updates that quick, but so basically they're 2.5. San Fran is 2.5 back right now. I think San Fran can absolutely leap. I think that would be the best bet, right? So if you look at what the Mets have, they have Philly, Texas, Padres, Washington, Cubs, Miami. And then if you look at San Francisco, they have Arizona, Dodgers, St. Louis, and the Rockies. And if they can somehow win the 2 Dodgers series, they don't have to sue, but they can at least win those 2 series. I think they stand a good chance to possibly challenge the Mets, because the Mets still got to go through Texas fighting for a wild card. They still got to go through the Dodgers trying to get that first place spot, and the Cubs. What do you think? What's your thought process in the National League?
I don't know. I would have to say I like the Mets being there, and San Francisco. That's one, of course, I'd like to see, just because Verlander, he's making his little run right now. But with the schedules, I mean, I don't think they're going to beat the Dodgers. That's just bottom line. Dodgers play better late season. That's just, they always have. Depending on if anything happens drastically injury wise or anything, that's the beauty of the game. Anything can happen.
So to close out the show, I just want to talk about one last thing, and then we'll get up on out of here for the night. But I told you about earlier, Dak Prescott and Jalen Carter obviously got into it Thursday night. Dak Prescott spit on the ground in the direction, I guess, of Jalen Carter, but it wasn't as close as you'd think. I mean, there was some distance in between the 2 players. He just spit at the ground, and then Jalen Carter asked him, hey, were you spitting at me? And then basically Jalen Carter spit on Dak, and the NFL came out and said that his ejection was sufficient enough to not warrant a suspension, that the ejection in effect was his suspension. I got to tell you, Austin, you spit on me and you don't get suspended. Number one, we're probably going to throw down. But number 2, no, an ejection is not a suspension. He needs to be on a damn. No, I'm going to tell you right now, Austin, I don't play around with putting hands on nobody, but you spit on me, that's bodily fluid. And in today's society, with all the diseases that are going around in people's bodily fluids, you spit on me, that's a problem.
I mean, you should be mad
that the ejection counts as a suspension, or do you think he should have faced a more lengthier suspension?
No, I think he definitely should have gotten a lengthier suspension. That's if it was intentional, of course. I didn't get to watch it, but if it was, I mean, that's just a total disrespect and not professional at all. And these guys are supposed to be examples to the guys coming up and playing at the highest level when everybody's watching. I mean, that's why I'm not the biggest football fan. Not a fan of the constantly celebrating over the littlest thing. That's like a pitcher screaming "Let's go" after he strikes out the 3rd batter of the 1st inning. That's what I see football as, and just the antics and the drama. Basically, it's a very drama-induced sport, especially nowadays. I mean, it's just a popularity contest is what it seems like. And then, lack of respect has kind of gone out the window. These guys are well paid. They've been well paid for a long time now. So, I mean, they're going up to veterans. Like you said, they're spitting on them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I can deal with a lot of things. One thing I can't deal with is liquids coming at me from somebody else's mouth. I just don't play that mess, man. And to me, that's about, it's one thing to put hands on somebody, but when you're spitting on somebody, if I put hands on somebody, and okay, whatever, he got a little bit, whatever. But if you spit on somebody and you got an open sore, if it lands in your mouth, God knows whatever diseases, I don't play that kind of stuff. That's crazy. But I definitely think there should have been a lot more of a suspension. I would have liked to see at least a 4 or 5 game suspension, just because, like I said, the diseases and everything that are out there, who knows what that guy could have caught, I mean, it's crazy. But that is for the NFL to worry about, them to deal with. Dak, I thought you handled it with class. You didn't throw hands on him. You let the judicial process play out for whatever it was, and good for you. This has been your boy Jay McLovin and Austin on the evening recap here on ESEN. If you like the content, if you like what we're doing here on the evening, You catch us more often Monday through Friday, 9 to 9:30 is typically what we do. Tonight I did a little bit longer because we want to talk to Austin about this wild card standing. But if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page. And until next time, it's your boy Jay saying.